Teams.
Ha? MS Teams lang? Wait lang. Stop sharing. Alright. Hello, good evening. Yan. Apologies na late Friday. Ang hirap ng pauwi. I just arrived from a 5-day training. So, kaya medyo ang dami ng sasakyan. Wala nang bakasyon. Kaya medyo na late ako. Pasensya mga anak. Anyway, I'll try to finish all the lecture, the remaining slides tonight. So, as advised earlier, I'm expecting that you have already eaten your dinner. Kumain na ba kayo, mga anak ko? Kumain ba kayo? O kararating nyo lang sa dorm? Okay, great. Okay. So now, let me just have a recap of what we have discussed last time. We had discussed about the overview of the Clean Water Act, the Republic Act 9275, whereas we have identified the different water sources in the Philippines, especially the major rivers and the different major river basins all over the country. And if you have recalled, we have also identified its different classification, water classifications of the different water sources. And also, lastly, we have determined the corresponding water quality management areas and the respective DNR administrative order that covers the respective water quality management areas. Ay, by the way, would you mind, kasi di ba nandito na kayo, pa, pa-record please? Can someone record the presentation? Are you done? Meron pa nag-record? Kindly acknowledge please.
Yes po, ma'am. Recorded na po.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so moving forward, so these are the 37 water quality management areas, okay? So since the main focus of our study, or rather our lecture, would be on the water quality, the Clean Water Act, or the RA 9275. So let me discuss further what are the coverage of Republic Act 9275. All right, so I think we are done with this one. So we have identified the different water classifications. Okay, so let's skip this. Now, we're done with the group activity. So let's now proceed with the discussion on water quality concept. Okay. So alongside with management of the different water resources, it's very important that we have to discuss also the water quality. Okay, because it has its different conditions and the different treatments alongside before it can be distributed as a water supply in different areas. Okay. All right. So we understand that there are different sources of water pollution. Okay. So we have tackled this already in our previous course. So we have industry sources, agricultural sources, and various anthropogenic activities that will, be a potential water source of water pollution. Okay. Okay. Now, looking at it, I would like to emphasize the concept of water quality. Okay, so typically the water would come from the upstream, and there are natural processes along the way, like natural erosion and illustration of different minerals, and also along with it is the natural biological processes. Okay, because of those, it affects the natural water and sediment quality. Alongside with that is the background of the atmospheric deposition and air-water chemical equilibria. Okay, so these are the things that would matter in, in relation with the water quality and sediment quality. Okay. Aside from the point and non-point sources of different waste loads, so because of the gravity, the water, and if there is a rainfall from the water cycle, all of these minerals and other foreign material would combine with our water, and the water will run through a surface runoff, and somehow it will go through, infiltrate to the soil and to the groundwater, and some of it will go to the downstream, to the river, and even to the marine water, okay, or any um, water basin, okay. So taking those into consideration, okay, so despite this, that these are the natural water sources, and able for us to make it as a potable water supply, it will entail, determination of water quality. Why? Because the water quality will tell us what kind of treatment is necessary to make it a potable water for the consumer use. Okay? So long time ago, most of our water sources is pristine. So if you have noticed from the water quality conditions, only few water sources are already classified as double A or AA, class AA. Majority are on class A, B, and even C. Okay, so it only shows that since the water sources are no longer class AA, so practically enabled for this water can be consumed as a water supply, it will require different kinds of treatment. Okay, all right, okay. So let us discuss now the Clean Water Act again with its implementing rules and regulation according to the DNR Administrative Order of 2005-10. Okay, so what is the objective of the Clean Water Act or the RA 9275? Okay, it's important to know that its main aim is to develop and implement a national program for the protection, preservation, and revival of the quality of the country's fresh, brackish, and marine water sources. Okay, so it can pass from fresh water and to salt water sources. Okay. Second, its objective is to protect the country's water bodies from pollution from land-based sources. Third is to provide comprehensive and integrated strategy to prevent and minimize pollution through multi-sectoral and participatory approach involving all stakeholders. So all of us are involved in these different multi-sectoral approaches. Okay. So just to recall, the Philippine Clean Water Act was enacted in March 22, 2004. It was published in April 21st or on April 21st, 2004, and it took effect on May 6th of the same year. Okay. So for the IIR or the Implementing Rules and Regulation, it was signed, it is under the DNR Administrative Order of 2005-10, signed by the Secretary of the DNR in May 16, 2005, published on May 26, 2005 through the two newspaper, Manila Times and Manila Standard Today. Okay. So what are those IRR of RA 9275? So it composed of DNR Administrative Order 2005-10 or the Implementing Rules and Regulation of the Republic Act 9275, which is the Clean Water Act. So the DNR Administrative Order 1990-35, the Effluent Standards. The DNR Administrative Order 2016-08, which is the Water Quality Guidelines and General Effluent Standards of 2016, which has now an updated version wherein it indicates the updated water quality guidelines and general effluents for selected parameters, especially for those nutrients. So that is DNR or DAO 2021-19. So it has also the DNR Administrative Order of 1990-34, the water quality criteria or guidelines. Okay. So these are the governing rules and or rather Republic Act. So for the clean water, the one that states the classification of the different water bodies for fresh water and marine water. So that is DOW 90-34, wherein for the effluent standards, those are those water that are being discharged to the free water that is under the DNR Administrative Order 90-35. And then for the various programs, so that is under the DOW 05-10, which is a which compose the water quality management areas, the septic management, the WDP, the prohibited acts, linkage mechanism, fines, damages, and penalties. Also include to the DOW to 05-10 is the Industrial Eco Watch, Sagip Ilog, Adopt an Estero Water water body or the Beach Eco Watch. So those are the programs that covers the Clean Water Act. Okay, so what are the basic compliance for this? Okay, so all industries are required to secure discharge permit, comply with discharge permit conditions, comply with applicable effluent standards based on effluent analysis through EMB accredited laboratory, and they have to completely fill out module 3 of self-monitoring report. Okay, so one very good example, like for instance, if there is a manufacturing industry, okay, in order for that company to operate, it will require the ECC compliance. So along those would be these requirements. And they have also to submit regularly to DNR the self-monitoring report. So what are the chemicals that are being purchased? What are those that being discharged? So this is a mandatory, okay? Otherwise, if you would not submit yourself to this, your company will be restricted to operate, okay? Okay. So what are the sections for compliance requirements for RA 9275? Okay. It is important to note that the National Sewerage and Septage Management Program, which is in Section 7, indicates the priority listing of sewerage, septage, and combined system projects for LGUs based on relevant considerations for the protection of water quality. Okay, one very good example is in Metro Manila. Okay, the two water concessionaires, the Manila Water and Maynilad, they are required to provide or to collect all the waste water. That's why they are charging us for sewerage. If you can see your billing, you could also see there that there is a particular charge. Aside from the sewerage, they are also charging us for environmental. So try to see it for yourselves, okay? But apparently, despite of this mandate, not always water are collected well by the water concessionaires or by the water providers, because that is part of the concession agreement that they will supply the water, and likewise they will also collect the wastewater and treat it before it will be discharged to the free body of water. But there are some constraints that happened along the way. So what are these constraints? There are issues on the construction of the infrastructure like wastewater treatment plant, because of the situation here in Metro Manila that there are only limited space. Okay, so that's why they could hardly treat the water before they could discharge it to the free bodies of water like Manila Bay, Pasig River, and others. Okay, so aside from that, since we also have some constraints on the solid waste, okay, why I'm telling this? The solid waste, they are they usually clog our drainage. So instead of collecting those effluents from the domestic sources, we could hardly collect it because the solid waste are blocking the passage of water. Okay, that's why even then the collection of water is very minimal. Okay, so but there is a mandamus that it is required that they have to comply. So they're doing their best right now in order to address this issue on sewerage and septic management in Metro Manila. Same thing goes with the other water providers in the country, but there are some also constraints like in the local water district. Not in all places that they are collecting the effluents and treat it before they discharge it to the free water. But this is a national mandate for Clean Water Act, and little by little, the LGUs are doing something along together with the water providers in their respective area in order to comply with this mandate. Okay. Actually, because of for the LGU, they have some constraints also because of their limitations for the funding. So somehow, um, some water providers that are available in the country, that's why there are many local water districts right now that are being converted into private water company, like the Prime Water all over the country. Actually, sila yung pinakamalaki na water provider all over the country because majority of the local water districts were bought by Prime Water. So they have these conditions that they have to build, operate, and transfer. But I'm not certain with that because instead of having this condition, they are the private company that provide waters in different areas in the country. Okay, so beforehand there are some um, water projects that are being funded by JICA, but since there are already some companies here where they offer private services as for water supply, so and they are a bit fast. Okay, so majority of our water providers all over the country are provided by these private companies. Okay, so aside from that, each LGU shall provide appropriate land, including right-of-way access, road access for construction of sewage and septic treatment plants. This is also one of the constraints here in Metro Manila kasi nga wala na talagang available land na pwedeng, excuse me, na pwedeng pagtayuan or padaanin, even yung mga pipes. Actually, dito nga sa naging parang condition nila ng mga water concessionaires before, in order for them to, to find means, ang naging parang requirement nila sa contractor dati na magpo-provide or magko-construct ng wastewater treatment plant, sila na rin maghahanap ng lupa within Metro Manila. Pero even then, nahirapan pa rin sila. And it's really hard to, to comply because of the restrictions of the road access or right of way and also the land where we could construct the wastewater treatment facility. All right, okay. So for HUCs or the highly urbanized cities, okay, this is now the section 8 for the domestic sewage collection, treatment, and disposal. So it is their mandate that agency vested to provide water supply and sewage facilities and concessionaires are to connect existing sewage lines into available sewerage system. Yan, para magiging centralized na siya. Okay? Kasi nga, bago natin siya itatapon, actually dati maraming mga nahuli kasi nga even yung mga malalaking hotel, restaurants along Manila Bay, they don't have the treatment or the wastewater treatment plant. Kaya ngayon, yung isang building doon sa along Rojas Boulevard, that is the wastewater treatment that collect water from the different hotels along Rojas Boulevard and restaurants before it will be discharged to Manila Bay. Okay, so how about for non-highly urbanized cities? Okay, so DPWH in coordination with DOH or the Department of Health and other concerned agencies shall formulate guidelines for the disposal of sewage employ septage or combined sewerage septage management system. Okay. Like sa amin ngayon, sa project namin sa New Clark City for the DOST facility, kasi nga, for the time being, ngayon, wala pang masyadong other na infrastructure sa area. So, despite na ang design ng development is there would be a septic management. Eh ngayon, for the meantime, para magamit namin yung mga toilets, magko-construct kami ng temporary na septage. Okay? Then eventually, that septage will be collected to the sewage septage management of the New Clark City. Okay. So, moving forward, so connect to sewer lines for treatment by water concessionaire, water districts, LGU. So that is their mandate. Next is the restructure the drainage system to connect to existing wastewater treatment facility. So ngayon sa Metro Manila, good to know na nakakonect na yung sabihin natin majority, pero I'm not certain if they have complied it already 100%. Okay? So effluent from sewage treatment plant must comply with effluent standards and must be also covered by a discharge permit. Okay. So what are the linkage mechanisms? So what are who are those agencies that are involved? So since the DNR is the lead government agency because they are the one monitoring the water quality. So the Philippine Coast Guard is also involved because they enforce water quality standards in marine waters, specifically offshore sources. The DPWH because they provide sewage and sanitation facilities. Sa atin kasi sa case natin, we do utilize combined sewer. Well, hindi kasi katulad sa ibang countries na may separate sewer ang water, rainwater, yung mga runoff, at saka ang wastewater. Kaya lang parang sa akin, mas practical kasi pag, ano lang siya eh, naka-separate sewer kasi, bakit? Una, pag may rain, limited lang yung water na ititreat kasi napupunta doon sa wastewater treatment plant mo. Rather na pag combined sewer, so ang dami-dami niyang ititreat. Okay? Lalo na pag maulan. Okay? We also have the Department of Agriculture which prepare guidelines for safe reuse of wastewater for agricultural usage and control of and abatement of pollution from agri-aquacultural activities. So that is from Administrative Order 2007-26. Okay. Who else? We have also the DOH, which set, revise, enforce drinking water quality standards. The DOST, which evaluate, verify, develop, and disseminate pollution prevention and cleaner production technology. So yun yung mga pwede namin kami, like in our case ngayon, we have a project like we call it Safe Water. That is the project of our division. They have provided a technology that treats the water, especially those in the rural areas, wherein when they have placed the water into the system, it can be a potable water that can be directly drink from the kind of treatment. Okay, so aside from the OST, we have also the DepEd, the CHED, the DILG, the PIA. So all of these agencies prepare and implement a comprehensive and continuing public education and information program. Okay, so if you've noticed, there are different agencies that are involved in this Republic Act. Okay, now, yan. So there are programs like the Adapt Anistero Water Body Program. So ano to? Kaya nga dati, I don't know if you are familiar, yung meron tayo yung sa different steros dito sa Metro Manila. Kaya nga, kahit yung stero malapit dun sa amin sa Adamson, lahat yon. There are different programs that are being undertaken in order to improve the water quality. Okay? So it involves the different schools, the different stakeholders like yung mga residents, and different government agencies. Okay? Its objective is to mobilize stero communities in cleaning the stero and enlist their active participation in the actual cleanup and implementing and preparing plans to sustain a clean stero in the future years. Meron pa nga dati may mga estudyante na nagtanggal ng water hyacinth. Yung water hyacinth, sinunog, ginawang additive sa concrete, and many others. Okay? Yung water hyacinth, ginawa nilang parang fiber that can be utilized for organic materials and the like. Okay? So, why engage stakeholders and partners in the program? Bakit nga ba? Why? Because to institutionalize the program within the LGUs, particularly barangays, towards community empowerment, to ensure sustainability of the program and benefits derived, to boost public-private partnerships. This is the triple P, the PPP. And who are the stero donor or partner? A donor or partner may be a business establishment, an industry association, a non-government organization, or other group that volunteers to be a major actor in cleaning steros. Okay? Actually, maraming mga estudyante dyan na humingi ng tulong. Meron pa nga mga katulad ni Unilever, San Miguel, and many others. Okay? The donor may accept full undertaking in the cleanup of an estero or may just provide equipment and manpower to do actual cleanup and partnerships with the DNR and other donors. Okay? So, also, in the implementation of the program, there is a signed MOA, or the Memorandum of Agreement, wherein the partner will enter into agreement with the DNR, and the MOA will spell out the roles of the different stakeholders. Okay? So, they have to organize a Linis Estero team, participate in cleanup planning sessions with the DNR, LGU, and with the target estero communities. They have also to prepare a comprehensive cleanup plan for the adapted estero. Hindi lang kasi siya one time, parang there would be a series of cleanup activities. Meron nga every weekend, every month, depende dun sa in-establish na dun sa naka-stipulate sa MOA. And they have to provide also resources such as equipment, personnel, funds, time to carry out the comprehensive cleanup plan. Not only that, pwede rin kasi kayo mag-apply ng research. Like in the case of yung estero na malapit sa Adamson before, meron sila, nagko-collect sila ng water samples and they have provided yung mga chemical engineering water treatment para ma-improve yung water quality. Kami naman sa CE, inaano lang namin yung depth, yung variation ng depth kasi nga madalas umaapaw, may backflow dun sa may banda sa amin. So, tine-check lang namin yung depth kasi hindi siya talaga yung depth niya hindi siya how do I say it, hindi siya pare-pareha sa different points. So yun, kaya nga nagkaroon sila ng dredging activities on that. Okay, so these are the ambient water quality monitoring. Ambient in a sense that is the environment water quality monitoring. Okay, so like for instance here, yan. If you can see here, yan, meron siyang upstream, may mixing zone, may downstream. Kasi sa mixing zone, usually pag nandiyan yung plant, may mga discharges from manufacturing plant. So, kaya may tinatawag tayo na mixing zone. So, nagba-vary yung water quality. Yun yung tinatawag natin na point sources. So, the water quality from upstream, midstream, and downstream varies from each other. Okay. So, wastewater charge. Okay, this is also good to know that you will also be familiar on the different charge system. Kasi nga, the different wastewater has various charges depending on its waste load. Okay, so first, established on the basis of the payment government for discharging wastewater into the water body. So, saan yan? Lalo na sa may income. Actually, these are the income generating from LLDA kasi yun din yung ginagamit nila for their various programs. So, based on net waste load, okay? So, there will be also complying industries to be charged to be minimal for reasonable amount. Pag non-compliant ka, syempre may penalty. Okay, so there would be a fixed fee, perhaps valuable base charge, then a fixed permit fee. There would be also a variable load-based charge based on the net waste especially on the total suspended solids or bio-oxygen chemical demand. Okay? And also actual pollution load that may vary depending on their submitted self-monitoring report. Nandun din to, depende sa industry kung ano yung minomonitor sa kanila. It was stated in DAO 2016-08. Okay, yan. So they have the legal authorization to discharge wastewater. Permit specifies, okay, among others, the allowed effluent quantity, quality, compliance, schedule, monitoring equipment. Okay? So like for instance, eto matagal-tagal na to, hindi ko alam kung updated pa to. So specifies quantity. So pag volumetric rate, halimbawa, less than 10 million liters, I think this is without metal, so that is about 2,000. Pag annual fee with metals, that is about 2,600. So may mga kanya-kanya siyang calculations. Okay? So the rate is per kilogram. This is initially fixed at 5 pesos per kilogram for priority pollutant, for instance, BOD or TSS, or and LN refers to the net waste load kilogram per year. Okay. Kaya ang ginagawa nila para mababa yung concentration, actually, yung kaklase ko na pollution control officer, dinedilute niya. Kaya papasok pa rin yung concentration. Pero if if you will realize, ang mangyayari, same lang yun, kasi dinagdagan mo lang yung tubig. Pag pumunta sa bodies of water, kasi lahat naman tinapon mo, di ba? Yung ganon. So, parang yung sa akin, parang, ayun lang, marami silang de-utilize sa tubig para bumaba yung concentration. Yan. Kaya may mga pasaway din talaga na pollution control officer. Kasi requirement ang pollution control officer sa mga manufacturing, sa mga institution like us, kasi meron kami yung pollution control officer accredited by LLDA, or the Laguna Lake Development Authority, and there is a pollution control officer certified by DNR, EMB. Okay, so dalawa palagi yan kung saan ka malapit mag-discharge. So usually, all over the countries, hindi nawawala si DNR, EMB, depende na lang sa water body kung saan sila magdi-discharge o sino yung monitoring sa kanila. Okay? So this is the example of waste discharge permit. Yan. So, sorry. So, on the waste discharge permit, nakalagay kung kasinong firm. Tapos, ano yung mga parameters na minomonitor. Depende doon sa nature ng industry. Okay? So, this is the implementing rules and regulation for online permitting monitoring system of wastewater discharge. This is the example taken from the EMB. Okay? So, for the inspection of the firm, so they have the permit, the SMRs, quarterly or monthly, the results of the laboratory analysis from the accredited DNR EMB laboratories, record plans, sources, volume, treatment, disposal of waste, discharges, the number of outlets, the receiving body of water, and its classifications, and other observations. Okay. So what are the prohibited acts of the RA 9275? Yan, discharging or depositing any water pollutant to the water body which could cause water pollution and impede the natural flow in the water body. Yan. Discharging, injecting, or allowing to enter into the soil another that would pollute groundwater. Operating facilities that discharges regulated water pollutants without required permits. Yan, sa mga mining, ito, bawal din. Ayan, disposal of potentially infectious medical waste into the sea vessels. Dumping or transport into or dumping into waters of sewage, sludge, or solid waste. Kasi dapat kasi usually pag may mga sludge na galing sa disposed, may siyang content typically ng nutrients and also heavy metals. Okay? Yan. Especially if these are from manufacturing which has prohibited chemicals that are under the Republic Act 6969, which is the hazardous waste. Okay. So discharge regulated water pollutions without the valid required discharge permit and refusal to allow entry, inspection, and monitoring as well to access to reports and records. So refusal or failure to submit reports and or designated pollution control officer, directly using booster pumps in the distribution system or tampering with the water supply in such a way to alter or impair the water quality, cooperate or rather operate facilities that charge or allow to seep willfully or grave negligence prohibited chemical substances or pollutants that are listed in the Republic Act 6969 or those hazardous waste. Marami tayo, bilistahan tayo niyan. And undertake activities or development expansion of projects and or operating wastewater treatment sewage facilities in violation of Presidential Decree 1586 and its implementing rules and regulations. Okay, so what are the fines and penalties? Ayan, dati to 10 pesos to 200,000 pesos per day of violation and subject to the PAB discretion. So, hindi sila makakapag-operate ng kanilang mga companies. Yan. So, imprisonment to 6 to 10 years, fine of about 0.5 to 3 million per day, 5 or more violations of any prohibited acts within 2 years, deliberate discharge of pollutant per the RA 6969, and blatant disregard of PAB orders. Okay. Ayan. Yun daw pag nahuli. Pag hindi ka nahuli, just kidding. Anyway, so the DNR Administrative Order of number 2016-08, which is the Water Quality Guidelines and General Effluent Standards of 2016. Take note, pag sinabi natin Water Quality Guidelines, these are from the water sources. Okay? Iba yung nasa drinking water, which is the Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water. Then yung effluents naman, these are the water quality that are, allowed for different industries. Okay? Nasa table yon. So, like classification of water bodies in the country, that is the determination of time trends, evaluation of stages or of determination, enhancement in water quality, evaluation of the need for taking actions in preventing, controlling, or abating water pollution, designation of water quality management areas, setting the general effluent standards, depending on the industry. So the scope for the general effluent standards was defined to apply all point sources of pollution, regardless of volume, that discharge the receiving body of water or land and be used regardless of the industry category. All right. So for the classification of water bodies, yan. So this was yung DAO 2016-08 na-adapt yun from DAO 1990-34 and the DAO 1997-23. So there were changes like change of classification of water used for agriculture, irrigation, and livestock watering from Class D to Class C. The removal of industrial water supply from Class C, Class D, and Class SD. Defining Class D and SD for navigable waters. Now, ito yon. So, as we mentioned earlier or last week, pag Class AA, that is Public Water Supply Class 1, which is intended primarily for waters having watersheds, which are uninhabited or otherwise declared as protected areas, or which are only approved disinfection to meet the latest PNSDW. So again, Class A, Public Water Class 2, which is intended for water supply requiring conventional treatment that includes coagulation, sedimentation, filtration, and disinfection. Okay? In order to meet the requirement of the PNSDW. Class B is the recreational water Class 1 intended for primary contact recreation, bathing, and swimming. Then Class C, fishery water for the propagation and growth of fish and other aquatic sources, which is also a recreational water class 2 for boating, fishing, or similar activities. And it can be also utilized for agriculture, irrigation, and livestock watering. Now, alin yung may mga klase natin? Yung Laguna Lake, Pasig River. Yan. And Class D, which is considered as navigable waters. Note, for unclassified water bodies, classification shall be based on the beneficial use as determined by the EMB. Okay, so these are for the marine waters. So again, Class SA is for the protected waters. Okay, waters that are designated as national or local marine parks to serve sanctuaries and other areas established by law. Okay, so ito yung may mga protected marine waters na hindi pwede puntahan, hindi pwede mag-swimming, hindi pwede manghuli ng isda. Yan, yung mga ganun. Okay? So, similarly, for fishery water class 1, suitable for shellfish harvesting for direct human consumption. SB is for fishery water class 2, water suitable for commercial propagation of shellfish and extended as spawning areas for milkfish and other similar species. Tourist zone for ecotourism and recreational activities. Recreational water class 1 intended for primary contact recreation, bathing, swimming, skin diving. Okay? Kaya hindi lahat ng lugar ay pwede tayo mag-swimming, pwede tayo mag-skin diving at maligo. So may mga places na sa marine waters natin na pwede lang natin tingnan at hindi natin siya hindi tayo pwede doon mag-swimming. Okay? Now, for SC, this is fishery water class 3 for the propagation and growth of fish and other aquatic resources and intended for commercial and sustenance fishing. Also for recreational water class 2 for boating, fishing, or similar activities, which is marshy and mangrove areas declared as fish and wildlife sanctuaries and navigable waters for SD. Okay, so yan, there is a maximum allowable limit for secondary metals and organic parameters. And for water quality parameters that are naturally occurring in the Philippines, the natural background concentration as determined by EMB shall prepare if the concentration is higher than the water quality guidelines. So provided that the maximum increase is up to 10% and it will not cause any risk to human and the environment. Okay, so ano yung general effluent guidance naman natin, standards. So, the GS shall be enforced to all point sources of pollution. Yan. Regardless of volume, kaya nga dinidilute, that required to receiving body of water or land and be used regardless of the industry category. Ayan. So, ito yung mga compliance o monitoring. So, may mga trickling filter sila. So, may mga treatment muna sila bago sila allowed na mag-discharge sa free water. Okay? So, the DNR shall, through due public consultation, revise and publish a list of categories of industry sector for which effluent standards will be provided for each significant wastewater parameter per industry sector. Okay? So, discharges from any point source at all times meet the effluent standard. So, nasa table naman yan. Okay? So, nandoon, makikita nyo naman yung different water standards that are prescribed for these different industries. Okay? So, these effluent water quality procedures are also indicated in the manual. And there are significant effluent quality parameters. Kasi pag makikita nyo, doon sa table ng DAO 2016-08, meron tayong primary water quality parameters, meron tayong secondary water quality parameters. Okay, so these are, like for instance, for agriculture, yung PSIC means the Philippine Standard Industrial Classification of 2009. So may code siya. Halimbawa, for animal production under agriculture, forestry, and fishing, if you could see, alright, if you could see, yung PSIC code for animal production is 014. Okay, so industry category is animal production. So what are those significant parameters that are being monitored? So meron siyang BOD, total suspended solid, total coliform, for class B and SB kasi yung class A wala siya dapat, then ammonia and phosphate. Now, for aquaculture, ang PSIC code is 032. Yan. So, they have different parameters. Also, they may be OD, TSS, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, and sulfate. And for mining and quarrying, PSIC code is 05. So, that is for mining and coal and lignite. So, you have color, pH, TSS, nitrate, sulfate, manganese, iron, arsenic, cadmium, mercury, and lead. Kasi usually, pag mining industries, marami siyang heavy metals. Okay? Yan. So, for air conditioning supply and production of ice cream, that is PSIC code 35300. So, that comprise of temperature, pH, COD, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, sulfate, chloride, chromium, and many others. Okay? Pag water supply, sewerage naman, ano ba yung kailangan i-monitor nila? Okay, so so the PSIC code for water collection, treatment, and supply. Yan. Ito ngayon yung mga sa water treatment plant natin, yung katulad ng Lamesa Dam, yan, Potatan Plant. So, they have to monitor yung pH, total suspended solid, chloride, fluoride, iron. Okay? Actually, sa water treatment plant, everyday yan. Okay? Actually, depende sa batch ng water. So, actually, lahat yan minomonitor nila. So, iba yung minomonitor din pag sewerage ang operation. Pag sewerage naman, may BOD, may fecal coliform, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, oil and grease, and surfactants. Kaya, actually, makikita nyo to kasi nga yung sa sewerage natin, nadagdag na dati, wala yung sa DAO 2016-08, bago dyan ang oil and grease. Priority na nila, pati yung nitrate, phosphate, and I think even yung surfactants. Okay? So, hindi ko sure yung surfactants kung kasama, pero at least, I think yung phosphate, oil and grease, nitrate, priority, and I think ammonia, kasama dun sa priority, dun sa updated na 2021 na DAO. Okay? Then, for treatment and disposal of non-hazardous waste, ito rin yung mga parameters. And treatment and disposal of, wait lang. For non-hazardous waste, yung nasa, they have color, pH, COD, suspended solids, total coliform, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, sulfate, chloride, and oil and grease. For hazardous waste, ito, mas marami siya. Depende sa nature ng activities ng company. Okay, so typically may color kasi usually may gumagamit sila ng dye, temperature kasi minsan yung temperature nila nagbabago yan. Pag masyadong acidic, iba ang temperature. Pag masyadong basic, iba rin yung temperature. At saka, pag gumagamit ng mga equipment, usually mainit yung tubig. So, hindi allowed pag masyadong mainit yung tubig. So, kailangan, subject mo siya ng cooling process bago mo siya i-dispose. Kasi otherwise, mamamatay yung mga other living microorganisms or living things na nandoon sa water. Okay, so they're different here. So I think I'll just go over this. So iba pag real estate activities, professional, scientific, and technical activities. Like kami sa DOST, we are into research. So we're doing also technical testing and analysis yung sa standard division, testing division namin. For engineering or natural sciences and engineering. So all significant parameters depending on the nature of our activity. Kasi meron din kami mga biological na mga dinidispose. So, but since actually my training today is about biosecurity, biosafety, and biorisk management. So, yun, yung mga kasama dyan yung disposal ng mga biological materials. Okay? Yan. So, for education, for public-private education, ayan, like PUP, yan yung ina-analyze. So, they have the BOD, fecal coliform, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, oil and grease, and the other significant parameters depending on the nature of activity. Kasi Sa university, meron din tayong mga experiment like sa College of Science. So, kaya depende rin doon sa activity na ginagawa nila. Okay? So, effluent standards is consistent with the goal of maintaining the quality of water bodies based on their intended beneficial usage. Okay, that can be found in Table 9. So, effluent standards for the BOD for strong wastewater, ayan, may iba rin siyang category. So, for establishment with effluent BOD equal to or greater than 3,000 milligram per liter. So, napakataas ng BOD niya. Ang allowed lang ay mababa. So, the water body is class C, D, SC, and SD. And the applicable effluent standards will be referred to Table 10. Ayan. For other parameters or other than BOD, Table 9 shall apply. Ayan, so ito na yon. These are the parameters found in Table 9. So these are the physical chemicals. So may ammonia ka, may BOD, may boron, chloride, COD, color, cyanide as free cyanide, fluoride, nitrate. You have the pH, the phosphate, selenium, sulfate, surfactants, or the embas. So, kasama na itong embas ngayon pala, tama, I recall. Kasama na to sa bagong parameter. Then, the temperature and the TSS, the total suspended solid. So, makikita nyo, yung nandito sa AA to D, these are the fresh water. SA to SD, these are the marine waters. So, makikita nyo, yung temperature niya, yan, 3 degrees Celsius, dapat ang change lang na allowed. Okay? So these are the concentrations in ppm. Milligram per liter is also parts per million. For color, the unit is TCU. Okay? So actually, if you're going to consider all of these tests, medyo pricey. Kaya nga, we have this specified particular parameter depending on the type of point sources or the manufacturing. Okay? So ito pa. We have also the different heavy metals. Yan. Like sa amin, sa tannery, we have to check hindi lang yung chromium 6 kasi ito yung masyadong carcinogenic. So kung chromium 3 lang siya, trivalent lang siya, so hindi siya ganun kumbaga carcinogenic. So hindi nga siya mino-monitor, only chromium 6. Kaya nga just to share with you, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga Japanese, taga-US, mga European people, they seldom use yung mas tataas, yung matitingkad yung kulay ng damit. Bakit? Kasi in order to, to enhance the color, na halimbawa yung red, gusto mo siya talagang matingkad na matingkad, nilalagyan natin siya ng different heavy metals. Yan. So, one is yan, chromium, kasama rin dyan yung mga lead. Yan. So, kaya sila, mas prefer nila yung mga light color kasi hindi siya masyado ginagamitan ng heavy metals. Okay? Kaya nga, if you will be observant, pupunta ka sa Japan, maalam sila, mga earth colors, light brown, white, light blue, ganun lang yung mga colors nila. Okay? So, these are the organics. Yan. So, marami tayo. Actually, these are the sources lang sa mga gasoline, yung mga ethyl benzene, yung BTEX. Yan. Benzene, toluene, ethyl benzene, xylene. So, usually yan galing sa mga gasolines. Yan. Tapos ako, yung sa target na microorganism ko, yung trichloroethene, na nakikita natin sa mga degreasing agents na ginagamit sa mga laundry shops, ginagamit sa mga car wash, ginagamit sa mga paints. Ayan. Kaya fluorifering lang sila, nandiyan lang sila sa water bodies. Okay, so for microbial, we have the fecal coliform and total coliform. Dante mo, 4 lang pag nandoon millions MPN for 1,000 for 100 ml. Oh. Pero usually palaging above yung number niya dito sa mga prescribed. Yung iba nga nakalagay too many to to count. Nakalagay. Okay? Excuse me. For Section 10, the grace period. Yan. So, consistent with the Republic Act 9275, a grace period of not more than 5 years is provided in cases wherein values of the General Effluent Standard have become stringent compared to the values in DAO 1990-35. So, in such cases, DAO 1990-35 shall apply during the grace period. Kasi transition. Pero supposedly tapos na tong grace period na to kasi nga anong year na ngayon? So, new significant effluent quality parameters were identified for the sector. So, the grace period can only be given to establishments that submit compliance action plan and periodic status of implementation to the DNR on the steps taken for the establishment's compliance schedule within the prescribed grace period. So, ngayon, matagal-tagal na to, so wala na. So, dapat supposedly na-comply. Kaya lang nangyari dito, medyo nag-extend sila. Nag-extend na ng extend. Okay? Yan. Now, ito na yung to the granting of not more than 5 years grace period. So, yan. So, so dapat supposedly tapos na to kasi 2014 na ngayon. Okay? Yan. So, this is the grace period. So, dapat tapos na siya kasi January 2019, January 2024 na ngayon. Okay? Hindi ko lang alam yung recent kung nakapag-comply na ba lahat. Okay? So, this is the recent DNR Administrative Order 2021-19 that was released on June 30, 2021. Okay? So, what are the updated water quality guidelines and general effluent standard in the coverage? So, tama. There is the ammonia, boron, copper as dissolved copper, fecal coliform phosphate as phosphorus, which is the total reactive, and also the sulfate. Okay? So, the Chapter 5, Section 27 has penal provision on the refusal or failure to designate PCOs whenever required by DNR. So, alongside with this is the mandatory for all manufacturing agency, for all institutions, if you are discharging water from your companies, you are mandated to have your pollution control officer. Yan. Okay, so the revised guidelines for PCOs. So, bilisan lang natin ito. Yan, so dapat establishing linkages, so they are among the following: DNR, industrial establishments, which are potential or actual sources of pollution, and you have the local government agencies. Okay, so these are mandates to carry out the national policy of maintaining a reasonable quality of the environment. Okay, so ano yung PCO? Yan, so a PCO is typically a technical person competent in pollution control and environmental management, performing the duties and responsibilities in a particular establishment officially accredited by the EMB Regional Office. So, tanong, ang civil engineer ba pwede maging PCO? Yes, unless that you have undergone a training and certified by DNR EMB. Okay, so what are the water quality programs? Okay, so, yan. Like sa Marikina, meron siyang clean up drive ng Marikina River, Pasig River. Dati kasi naalala ko, meron yung Pasig River water quality monitoring. Meron silang program for Pasig River clean up. Yan, kasama dyan yung mga other tributaries. May San Juan River. Yan. So, we have also the Sagip Ilog program, Linis Estero program, as mentioned earlier, which has achieve a cleaner, safer, healthier metropolitan environment. So the number of MOA signs is about 304 as of December 31, 2013, and the number of bodies adopted was about 542 of the same date. 13 years ago. Monitoring of the Department of Tourism, like yung, yan, kaya nga, di ba, may beach eco watch na tayo, like what had happened in Boracay, yan, and in other beaches all over the country. Okay, ayan, yung mga commercial establishments. Okay, so, for the enforcement of effluent standards, kasi it was derived from the DNR Administrative Order 35 series of 1990 or the DAO 1990-35. So that is the effluent standards are limit in terms of concentration and a volume that any wastewater discharge coming from a point sources shall meet, consists of a set of water quality parameters and their corresponding numerical limits. Each set is prescribed for each water classes. Okay, so this order shall cover the accreditation of PCOs of establishment that discharge solid, liquid, gaseous waste to the environment, and activities or products or services which are actual or potential sources of land, water, and air pollution. Yan. So, kaya sa amin, actually, walang gusto, honestly, walang gusto na maging PCO. Kasi yung PCO, siya yung pumipirma. Ang mabigat dito, usually, parang ang tawag dito, ano ba tawag nun? Facilities manager. Ang facilities manager, like sa amin, sa case ng DOST, ITDI, yung aming director. So, siya yung pumirma doon. Pag hindi ka naging compliant dito, ang pwedeng makulong yung PCO at saka yung manager. Yan. So, parang doon sa mga manufacturing, hindi ko alam sa PUP kung sino yung point person as PCO. Ang signatory dyan, for sure, si Dr. Muhi, at saka kung sino yung PCO ng different campuses. Yan. So, hindi siya ganun kadali. Hindi siya pwedeng gawing biro. It is a mandate from the government. So, everyone should comply. Kaya kami dito, actually, regularly nagsasabit kami ng self-monitoring report. Kasi nga, kung otherwise, pag hindi kami naging compliant dito, at na-restrict kami ng DNR-EMB, hindi kami binigyan ng ECC permit, yung Environmental Compliance Certificate, hindi kami makakapag-operate. Why? Hindi kami allowed na makabili ng mga chemicals at hindi rin kami pwede mag-dispose ng mga chemicals, especially yung aming mga hazardous waste, tsaka mga biological waste. So, malaking problema. So, kailangan talaga mag-comply kami. Hindi siya biro. Okay? Yan. So, dun sa mga industrial eco-watch, meron naman silang recognition. Ayan. So, pag gold, standing, silver, excellent. And pag talaga hindi ka compliant, black lang ibibigay nila sa'yo. Okay? Actually, dati may mga rewards programs pa nga sila dito eh. May mga incentives sila na binibigay. Okay? So, for the partnership program with industries which aim to support industry self-regulation, so, it also seek to provide a package of incentives and rewards mechanism. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo a while ago. Okay? So, like for instance here, sa DNR EMB Region 4A, may mga distillery plant. There was a distillery plant in Lian, Batangas that utilizes the reed system in their wastewater treatment. Yan. So, this system entails the use of nodes or nodules of bamboo roots to clean the wastewater. So, may mga incentive din sila. So, ito yung example ng best practices. Sa Region 11 naman, they have cited a beverage manufacturing company, an industry in their locality that practices waste to energy conversion. Kasi pwede mo yung waste, like, yung actually, maganda dito, may mga projects nga na isa sa research project natin na i-convert yung mga microorganism na pwedeng maging source ng electricity. And dito naman, ginawa siya na yung waste generated can produce methane gas. Yan. Na yung methane gas na can be utilized para yun yung mag-energize ng kanilang boiler as fuel. Okay? Sa EMB Region 12 naman, yan, gumamit sila ng vetiver grass. Kasi nga, vetiver has a function na parang to hold yung soil para ma-prevent yung irrigation, yung erosion. Okay? Ayan, so yan ang example ng vetiver grass. Ginagamit nila sa slope protection. Okay? So, syempre, pag na-hold niya yung lupa, hindi sasama yung lupa. So, hindi siya, yung sediment, hindi, kasi usually pag sumasama yung lupa sa tubig, tumataas yung kanyang, ang tawag nito, yung turbidity. So, hindi clear yung water. Kaya ang ginagawa nila sa mga downstream, bago doon sa mga river systems natin, or sa malapit sa, naglalagay sila ng vetiver grass. Okay? So, that's it. Thank you for your attention. Any questions so far? Anyone? May question ba? Alright, hearing none. Wala kayong tanong? Ako magtatanong sa inyo. Okay, so far na-meet ko naman yung aking target na schedule for natapusin yung aking slides kasi I have a total of 100, tanggalin natin yung first and last, 116 slides. Yan. So, natapos ko naman. Kaya lang, I hope you have understand what I have discussed today. So, any questions so far? Wala? Alright. Okay. Now, okay. I would like to ask you guys, okay, di ba? Ito yung scenario natin ngayon sa Philippines from the different water sources. And as an engineer, water resource engineer, di ba? Ang dami-dami natin kailangan i-monitor na water quality. Kasi nga, lalo na pag depende sa project, lalo na pag irrigation, may mga specific water quality tayo na kailangan na i-monitor para masabi natin na pwede siya i-consider or i-utilize for agricultural use. Kaya lang, usually, yung mga dams natin, multi-functional siya. Okay? So, marami tayong pwedeng gawing intervention. Kasi nga, ngayon, ang nakikita natin, lalo na sa Metro Manila, mayroon na tayong shortage ng water. Kayo ba nararamdaman nyo ba na mahina yung water pressure? Sino dito yung very satisfied sa water pressure? Siyempre, wag yung sa condo unit, yung mga sa bahay nyo lang. Malakas na maabot pa ba sa shower nyo yung tubig? Sino yung pa-raise hand naman ng mga or pa-thumbs up ng mga umaabot pa sa shower head nyo yung tubig? Ay, yung iba ba may shower? Okay, so good. Sa amin kasi mahina na yung tubig. Eh, saan ba yung lugar nyo? Saan ba kayo, Anthony?
Sa Antipolo po.
Wow. Manila Water. Tama?
Yes.
Malakas talaga kasi ang pressure head ng Manila Water. Kasi kung maaalala nyo last time, o last year, when we had our class sa water resource, sila kasi, ang strategy kasi na ginawa ni Manila Water, when they took over, pinalitan lahat nila yung pipelines nila, majority. Si Maynilad naman, patsi-patsi. Kaya nga, ang benefits naman nun, na pinalitan niya majority yung pipes, nabawasan yung kanyang non-revenue. So, ang advantage nun sa mga water users, mas mataas yung water pressure nyo. Kasi nga, walang masyadong mga water leak. So, maayos yung pipe system nyo. Sa Maynilad naman, yon little by little yung kanila, parang in tranches. So, kaya mas mataas ang water pressure ni Manila Water. Sana all na lang na mataas ang water pressure. Nakakaingit naman kayo. Magkano? Sobrang laki din ng increase per cubic meter. Sorry, nako. Hindi na kasi ako part ng rate rebasing team. Magkano ang tinaas ng magkano na ba kayo per cubic meter? No idea ako sa, yun lang,
Ano po,
magkano?
from 37 naging ano po, parang 50 plus.
Ay, ganun kalaki?
Opo.
Ay, hindi kami yung team na yan. Pero kilala ko sila. Kasi yung iba doon, consultant din namin dati na nagtrabaho sa rate rebasing. Pero halos doble, ang laki. Kasi ganito yan. Let me just give you an overview. Bakit lumaki? Kasi ang water rate natin, actually, may binabayaran lang sila sa concession agreement. Nakalimutan ko na yung fixed amount. Kasi 2017 pa yung project namin. May fixed amount nang na binabayaran ang water concessionaire. So, both Manila Water and Maynilad. Now, saan nakadependent yung water rate? Ito lang yung gist ng rate rebasing exercise. Yung rate rebasing exercise, for the information of everyone, ito yung exercise na ginagawa para makaderive yung water rate natin. Okay? So, lahat yan, kinakalculate nila yung CAPEX, yung capital expenditures, and yung operational expenditures, OPEX. So, dalawa lang yan source yan. CAPEX at saka OPEX. Kasi for the purpose of, ito lang, just for the purpose of discussion, for educational purposes lang, ha? Wala akong kinakampihan or whatsoever. Tapos na rin naman yung aking signed the NDA kasi lahat ng consultant, nung nag-start kami ng project, bawal kami mag-divulge or mag-share ng information even sa family namin. So, nakasign kami ng NDA. Parang, if I may not mistaken, pag nag-share kami ng information at nahuli kami, we have to pay 5 million. Yon. So, kaya ako, tahimik ako noon habang ongoing yung project. Hindi ako nagkikwento sa anak ko, kahit sa asawa ko. So, what I see, what I hear, when I leave the MWSS premises, kasi lahat ng consultant noon, nasa MWSS. I remember nga nun, sabi ng estudyante ko sa hydrology, nung nagtuturo ako noon, "Ma'am, taga saan po ba kayong department?" Sabi ko, "Ano ba subject ko sa'yo?" "Hydrology po." "O sa tingin mo, sa lahat ba ng engineering, ano bang department ang nagtuturo ng hydrology?" "Ma'am, CE po." "Eh bakit po hindi kayo nakikita sa faculty area?" Sabi ko kasi, pagtapos na yung klase ko, syempre, pupunta na ako kasi dun sa project namin, office. Kasi bawal kami magpicture, bawal kami na tawag dito, kahit sa cellphone. As in talaga yung mga information, nandun lang kami sa data room, i-jot down lang namin, hindi namin pwedeng, kumbaga, ipagsabi, kung ano. So, basically, ang pwede namin i-share yung information sa MWSS. Kasi, ang nag-hire sa amin noon, MWSS. Okay. So, going back, ang CAPEX or yung CAPEX at saka OPEX, yun ang source ng kanilang expenditure. So, doon nila dinerive. Lumalaki yung CAPEX pag ang CAPEX kasi, that includes yung mga infrastructure, yung mga facilities, yung pipeline, yung mga buildings na mga support building, kahit yung mga business areas nila, yung mga facilities na ganyan, yung mga pumping station. So, lahat yan pumasok sa CAPEX. So, I think kasi nakita ko naman, pupunta kasi ako sa Antipolo, maraming in-installed na pipes sa puntang Antipolo na bagong pipes ang Manila Water, di ba? So, pinalitan nila. Tapos, nagdagdag din yata sila ng maraming pumping stations kasi nga para lumakas yung tubig. Yan. Tapos, yung operational expenditures naman, ito yung mga ginagamit nila sa treatment ng water. Yan. So, ano yung mga chemicals? Excuse me, that includes also yung tawag dito, yung kanilang yung mga salaries ng mga staff. Actually, ako nga nag-a-aspire. Sabi ko nga, when I discovered, masarap magtrabaho. Ewan ko lang ngayon kasi that was the time, ang major stockholder ay Ayala. Pero kasi ngayon, ang major stockholder ay si Razon. Hindi ko alam kung same pa rin kasi nga, when we audited, si Manila Water, gradual yung changes ng rate ng mga personnel. Pero pag ikaw ay nasa top management ng Manila Water, ay naku, ang sarap pagtrabaho, milyon ang per month mo. Sabi ko, ay sana all. Hindi mong ganon. So, ganun magpasweldo si Ayala. Okay? So, ngayon siguro, you try to figure out and analyze, marami bang dinagdag na facilities, nag-improve mo yung system para masabi mo na worth yung additional price na binigay. Kasi nga, pero dati, I recall, mas mahal talaga si Manila Water compared kay, sino ang hindi ko nakita yung bill namin, magkano ang per cubic meter. Sino ang dito, ang water provider ay si Maynilad. May water bill ba kayo dyan? Pakisilip nga kung magkano ang per cubic meter. Yung mga taga Maynila. Kasi sa east zone kasi ang Manila Water, sa west zone naman ang Maynilad. Sino yung mga taga Maynila dyan na nasa west zone? Ako kasi nasa tawag dito, sa cellphone na ng anak ko yung water bill namin. Anyone? Para makita lang natin. At saka, by the way, malayo ang difference ng rate ng residential at saka ng commercial. Minsan nagta-times 10. Halimbawa kung 50, baka ang rate ngayon per cubic meter ng commercial ay nasa 500. O, mga ganon. Ganon ang presyuhan nila pag nasa commercial district ka. Ganon si Maynilad. I don't know lang kay Manila Water kung ganun din. Kasi parang prerogative na nila yun eh. As long they are adhering dun sa mandate nila based on the concession agreement. So parang may freedom na sila. Kaya lang ito, nire-regulate din ni Manila Water. Pero ang laki kasi kung 50 plus, more than 20 pesos yung yung tinaas. Ewan, baka tayo na may pinakamahal na tubig sa buong Asia. Ay, hindi pa rin pala. Singapore. Kaya nga pag sa Singapore, ang dinadala ko doon pag nagdadala ko ng sarili kong tubig. Kasi nga pag nauhaw ka, ang mahal ng tubig. Kasi nga wala sila. Pero ngayon kasi meron na sila. Pero iba kasi yung lasa ng tubig pag galing sa faucet eh. Kasi nga parang may pagkapakla. Kasi nga it was subjected to various treatment. Reverse osmosis din sila doon. Pero iba yung lasa ng tubig. I don't know. Baka sa ko lang yun. Sa sarili ko lang. Yan. So, kaya nga, kung ini-imagine ko, kung 20 pesos yung first, pwede rin kasi na tumaas kasi yung salary, diba, ng mga tao. Tapos marami sila mga facilities na pinagawa. Kaya ganun kalaki siguro yung na-derive nila na presyo. So, nakakailang cubic meter ba kayo, Anthony? 5? 10? In a month? Do you know?
Ko po pero mas mataas po sa 10 po.
Ay, malakas kayo kung ilan ba kayo yung ilan ba kayo nasa household nyo?
6 po.
Ay, ang lakas ng sa tubig Anyway, so madalas ba kayo maligo kasi mainit ngayon? Anyway, at malakas talaga kasi kami medyo tipid kami sa water consumption. Yan. Pero kayo ba, bumibili pa ba kayo ng purified water or direct na sa faucet yung drinking water nyo na may connect or may nakakonect kayo na purifier? What do you do?
Opo, may nakakonect po na purifier.
Yung iba bumibili pa. Pero alam nyo, dapat kasi, supposedly, na yun eh, potable water nga di ba? So, ready to drink na yung ating mga tubig na galing sa faucet natin. Kaya lang kasi, maraming Pilipino kasi ang pasaway. Ayan, na nagiging potential sources ng contamination, yung mga, sabihin na natin, yung mga kumukuha na hindi legit, nagtatap lang. So, sila yung mga sources ng ating contamination. Kaya, pero kung galing yan sa pumping station, tinitreat naman nila yan eh. So, nagdo-dose sila dyan ng sodium hypochlorite or nagdi-disinfect sila. So, basically, dapat ready for drinking water. Kaya lang, ako, medyo ayoko uminom nga nung pag malapit mismo sa sa malapit sa treatment plant. Why? Kasi hindi pa masyado nakadissipate yung chlorine. So, masama rin kasi pag carcinogenic kasi yung chlorine pag naiinom mo kaagad. So dapat nga 'di ba dapat pag may mga aquarium hindi advisable na immediately directly from the faucet pag magpapalit ka ng tubig na ilalagay mo agad yung fishes kasi they might die, nalalason sila. So dapat you have to stay the water overnight before you'll transfer yung mga isda nyo na nasa aquarium kasi nga masaspal masyado yung chlorine dose. Yan. So, hindi rin siya maganda. Tsaka mararamdaman nyo yun sa skin. Di ba, pag nagsiswimming kayo, lalo sa swimming pool, na amoy na amoy nyo yung chlorine. So, di ba, iba yung pakiramdam. Okay? Alright. Okay. Ayan. Wow. 47. Kompleto tayo. Okay, may question pa ba? Baka may naalala, may gustong itanong? Alright. Ano, nakalimutan ko tuloy yung itatanong ko. Hindi ko na, ako yung magtatanong. Meron ako kanina pang isang tanong, na-miss ko siya sabihin. Alright.
Okay.
Doon sa mga lugar nyo, may mga nakikita ba kayo o na-observe na mga best practices na pwede nyong i-share? Ano ba yung mga ginagawa sa mga areas nyo? Are you familiar? Meron ba? Yes, Brian.
Ma'am, last year po, meron pong ginagawa yung Manila Water, in partnership po with the Antipolo City Government. Nagkakaroon po sila nagtatayo po sila ng water treatment plant po in Hinulugan, Taktak. So, bagay po siya nung parang rehabilitation po nung Hinulugan, Taktak. So, lahat po nung mga wastewater doon po mapupunta. Then yung treated wastewater po, i-release na sa Hinulugan, Taktak.
Oo, kasi actually, ako taga LA ako. Pero, kumbaga pumupunta rin na, LA means Lower Antipolo, dati. Pumupunta kami ng Hinulugan, Taktak. Actually, ang linis-linis yan dati. Diyan kami pag yung, kasi SK ako dati sa Antipolo. Pag yung, may meeting kami, gusto nga namin doon sa may mga cottage kasi dati dyan eh. I don't know ngayon ba, meron pa ba? May cottage pa ba, Brian? Do you know kung meron pang cottage sa Hinulugan, Taktak?
Ang alam ko lang po, meron na pong recreational activities, pero hindi ko po alam kung bukas po.
Ayun, doon kami. Tapos, maganda kasi yung ambience ng paligid kasi may puno, tapos malinis yung tubig. Tapos, eventually, nung naging college student ako, polluted na siya. So, hindi na kami nagpupunta doon kasi nga maruming-marumi na siya. Kasi nga, sa upstream, may mga naglalaba. Tapos, eto pa, ang nakakatawa, may naliligo dati doon, tapos may nakakita pa siya na na pupo. Kasi nga doon sa upstream, marami ng mga nakatira. So, yung flow ng water papunta doon. Kaya, ini-stop yun eh, clinosian. So, ngayon, pinapayagan pa rin ba na may maliligo doon o hindi na? Ano na kayang class ng water doon? Alam
Yun
niyo
lang
ba?
po yung hindi ko po sure, ma'am.
Okay, at least meron silang initiative na linisin yung water doon sa Hinulugan, Taktak. Kaya lang kasi ang alam ko marami na kasi subdivisions, saka may mga pabrika rin yata sa upstream. Kaya hindi na ganun gaganda yung water quality sa Hinulugan, Taktak. So, meron pa ba sa other places na alam nyo? Thank you for that info, Brian. Natutuwa naman ako. Meron pa ba? Wala kayong awareness sa paligid nyo? Sa Marikina, alam ko maraming best practices ang Marikina. Sino taga Marikina dito? Walang taga Marikina dito? Meron ba? Dati, sino ba yung mga taga Marikina na nagsabi sa akin? O wala lang alam na best practices. Pero may taga Marikina dito. Ah, wala na taga Marikina. Parang dati meron nagsabi. Wala na taga Marikina sa inyo, ah. Okay. Mas maganda kasi kung meron tayong makikita. Actually, one thing that you could also consider dun sa research nyo, yung pwede nyong i-impart, yung best practices na pwedeng i-consider ng mga LGU. Yan. Kaya ano yung pwedeng gawin? Yung mga research nyo, pwede nilang i-consider yan kung magiging effective na best practices. Yan. Kaya nga, actually, marami kayong pwedeng trabahuin. Eh. Tulad niyan, yung mga nasa water resources. Kaya nga, advantage din yung iba, nag-exam na rin sila sa master plumbing. Kasi nga, mas na-enhance yung kanilang knowledge pagdating sa mga water pipes. Yan. So, isa na pwede nyo maging direction din yon. Kumuha na rin kayo ng master plumber na hindi pa nire-require na kumuha ng panibagong degree. Kasi I've heard time will come na parang i-require na nila ang panibagong degree para makapag-take ng master plumber na board examination. Okay? Alright? May tanong pa ba? Alright, sige. Hearing none, sige. Hindi muna ako magbibigay ngayon ng activity. Parang nauubusan na ako ng boses. Medyo napagod ako sa aming training workshop na 5 days. Siguro, ano ba schedule natin ngayon? Ngayon, hindi pa ako nagbibigay ng final requirement, ano? Sige, i-workout ko muna yung final requirement nyo. Siguro, hopefully, baka, pag magawa ko siya, I'll be announcing the final requirement by next week. So, for now, yun lang yung mga key points natin. So, hopefully, wala pa tayong I'm thinking kung kailan ako magbibigay ng, pero kasi gusto ko talaga pag nag-exam face-to-face, kung magbibigay ako ng sit-down exam. Yan. Para, kasi marami tayong mga terminologies na kailangan mare-recall nyo. Yan. Pagdating sa dito. Kasi nga, dapat medyo aware tayo dito sa mga policy, sa mga Republic Act na under na para sa to take care of our water quality, yung RA 9275 and the other implementing rules and regulations. Yan. Okay? By the way, I haven't shown you the complete list of the chemicals. You could see that for your assignment, yan. Paki-visit po yung DAO 2016-08 at saka yung DAO 2021-19, yung updated, ano yung mga chemicals na, rather yung mga parameters required. Okay? So, I'm planning to provide you another activity next week na lang para may energy ako. I think next week naman wala naman akong activity, so typical day. Yan. So, sana hindi ako malate. Ang hirap ng ating traffic congestion. Hindi umuusad ang sasakyan. Okay, so kung wala ng question, so I think we call it a night. See you tomorrow sa CE project, especially yung mga may CE project, then also yung CE project 1. Okay? So, thank you everyone. See you tomorrow. So, stop ko na yung recording. Sino yung nag-record? Ay, wala sa akin. Stop. Yeah, ayan. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you
Close ko
po.
na to. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.